How are we going, everyone? I'm going to do a little rose segment for you, but before we go there, I thought to clean up this little kumquat tree because I noticed I had a bit of dieback here because of the wind coming through. Now we've got two types of leaves here. We've got the old and the new. And a kumquat you can cut back differently to that of a lemon tree, an orange tree. This one in particular is meant to be a standard. I'm not going to keep it as a formal standard. I'm going to let it outgrow itself a bit so it's not perfectly round, but I am going to take off all this old foliage because that's not going to come good. We did harvest a lot of the fruit and we did juice a lot of this fruit, skin and all, because that's the way you get the best flavours out of it without that sort of tarty sort of aftertaste. And if you look inside here, we've got a lot of new growth coming through, and that's what you'll find with all citrus trees when you do prune them. Now, here was where the wind's been beating it to death. Look at this. Look at that. That's just weather damage. That is extreme weather damage, and it's affected all the branch, so that has to come off completely. And we are going to replace that with all this new growth coming through here. And the same in the middle there. See all that? That's strong, healthy growth, even flowers coming on. You don't want too many uprights. You'll thin that out as it starts to come through. Pick the stronger ones, like this stuff here, time to go. See right here where the growth is? You can see where the strengths are. There's a little bit there also, a little bit of new growth trying to come through there, but this is where it should be cut back to because that's never going to recover. So take that off as well, like that. And again, this branch here, time to go. All right, so this is my rose pruning session, is it, folks? This is what happens with me. I get excited with all sorts of topics. Anyway, we're going to keep cleaning this up. We'll come back to this later on and show you the results. Look down here. Have a look. How crazy is that, eh? A few weeks ago, we came here and pruned this arch, rose arch, that was completely out of shape. And we've created 3 runners, 3 leaders in the middle, and we wanted to push off all these little side shoots and have flowers on them. Now, our Wisteria will grow to 4 to 6 inches, maybe a little bit more sometimes, depending on the plant or the variety of rose. In this case here, we've got a good 6 inches, bud on it, bud, 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 and I dare say bud as well. So every little side shoot that's coming out of the main leader, every single one's got a bud, 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 bud. It's going to be covered in flowers in the coming days. As the weather warms up, these will start to fatten up, plump up and burst out in beautiful colours. Now, I want to show you a rose, a climbing rose, or a couple of them in fact, that haven't been pruned, and this is the result of them when you don't prune them correctly. We're coming down to a little, this is our wedding venue or avenue. We've got our standard lily pillies here, we've got our Watsonias, we've got roses in there. English box that's coming back to life because our friendly horse decided to walk through here and eat all the flowers. So we've replanted here, they're coming good. And we've put our black green because the excessive nitrogen in the soil can cause them to brown off. So if you still got English box bronzing off, it needs some black grit to reduce the acidity in it. And I've got to put some over there, by the way. Now, look at this. This is a beautiful arch. I let this go, I didn't get around to it in time. The rose I can prune now, and I'm going to. I'm not fussed about losing the flowers on this. I'm going to clean this up the way I cleaned up the other ones, and that is take out all these uprights and you know, this wispy branching that's going on, the overlapping, the rubbing, the knuckles, the bends. Yes, I'll get lots of flowers, but it is a messy sight. It really is. Look at it, it's hanging over the side here like there's no tomorrow. Look at this. What a mess. Now the wisteria behind there, it's not the way I want to grow my wisteria either, folks. But I tell you something, when it puts on a show, it puts on a great show. We've got the blue wisteria here, or purple if you like, white one over here, and another blue one here, so they're alternating, and then white over here. If you have a close look, I reckon there'd be about 1,000 flowers on each plant, at least. The biggest problem I have here, as soon as they come into full flight and they're hanging like bunches of grape, we get the rains. And guess what's predicted in the next few days? Rain. So the show is going to be short-lived, unfortunately. So we'll come back out here when it's in full flight and hopefully we get a nice show before the rain comes in and destroys it all. This is what I'm talking about, the mess. This is nothing but a mess at the moment. I've got to clean this up. You know, I'm going to sacrifice 80% of this. I'm going to take it all out. All the outside that's cascading over the other way, you can see it. if we go on the outside, you'll see how it is. It's great to look from a distance, but ultimately it's not going to survive well. So all that's got to get cut back. I did actually cut back this side last year, just a little bit. And I took to it with a hedge trimmer, that is. I didn't prune it with the secateurs neatly. I just went back there and cut it back to the framework. And you can see it's not as dense, plus the fact it doesn't get the morning sun there. So it's a lot better for me. Still getting enough flowers on there, so when it comes into full flower, it's still going to give me a good show. Whereas on that side there at the top, it is a mess, and all the flowers are sitting so high. It looks good from the distance, but I actually wanted to hang in, create those central leaders. Like you can see one here running through the middle there, and then we've got all our little side laterals, and I've got to establish that somehow up there. It's not an afternoon's job, is it? But for now, let's enjoy the flowers, and we'll come back and see when it's in full flight. And then once they finish, we'll get stuck into pruning it, and I'll show you what I do with this one here. It's going to be completely transformed. It's the last day on the Black Ridge sales, folks, so don't miss out on that. Take advantage of the discounted price. The prices go up as of tomorrow at midnight. Will be the last chance for you to be able to purchase everything discounted at up to 80% off. Vasili'sGarden.com. From me, Vasily, Ladesi.